Rain lashed against the windshield with a force that made it hard to see the road ahead. It wasn't just a drizzle, it was one of those summer storms that came out of nowhere and no warning, no mercy. Thunder cracked overhead like a whip, and the wipers struggled to keep up. Inside the truck, single dad Caleb Walker clenched the steering wheel tightly, his knuckles white with tension. In the back seat, his 6-year-old daughter Ava was curled up in her booster seat, humming softly to the tune of a lullaby playing from her tablet. She didn't seem to mind the weather at all. Children had that gift of seeing calm where adults saw chaos. Caleb glanced at her in the rear-view mirror and smiled faintly. She was his world. After losing her mother during childbirth, Ava had become both his light and his anchor. The road ahead was slick, winding through a rural backroad in Tennessee, the kind of path locals knew to avoid during storms. But Caleb hadn't had much choice. He was heading back from his sister's place 2 towns over, and the highway had been closed due to an overturned trailer. So, he took the long way home, not knowing that his life was about to change forever. That's when he saw her, a woman standing beside a broken-down SUV on the side of the road, waving frantically, her figure barely visible through the downpour. The hazard lights blinked in a desperate rhythm. Caleb slowed instinctively, unsure at first. And you hear stories, after all. But as he got closer, he saw something that cut through his doubt like a knife. She was wearing army fatigues. A soldier. She was drenched, exhausted, and barely keeping herself upright. And in her arms she held a small bundle, wrapped in what looked like a soaked army jacket. A baby. Caleb pulled over before he even had time to think. He jumped out into the storm, shielding his face with his hand as he approached. "Hey, are you all right?" he shouted over the roar of the rain. The woman turned toward him, her face paled, lips trembling. "Yeah, broken bar, I need help, please. My baby, he's burning up. My phone's dead. The engine just quit. There's no heat, no signal." A broken bar. Without hesitation, Caleb was already pulling open the back door of his truck. "Come on, get in, hurry." She hesitated only for a second before rushing to the truck, cradling the baby tightly. Caleb helped her in, slammed the door shut, and ran around to get back into the driver's seat. Inside, the warmth of the truck enveloped them. Ava blinked up at the stranger beside her, her eyes wide with curiosity, but she said nothing. The woman gently unwrapped the baby's face, revealing a tiny boy, red-cheeked and burning with fever. "Oh God," Caleb murmured. "He needs a hospital." The soldier, her name was Sergeant Lena Torres, she explained in short breaths. Nodded quickly. "There's only a broken bar about 15 miles west." "Please see." "I know it," Caleb cut in. "Hold on." And with that, he drove. The storm was unrelenting. Roads were half flooded, trees leaned dangerously across the lanes, and visibility dropped to almost zero. But Caleb didn't slow. He glanced over at Lena often, noting how she whispered to the baby, rocking him gently despite her own shivering. Ava, surprisingly, reached over and touched the soldier's hand. "It's okay," she said in a small voice. "My daddy's really good at helping people." Caleb's throat tightened. Minutes later, they reached the small-town hospital, a rural facility, but open. Caleb helped Lena out, and the ER staff rushed to take the baby. Lena tried to follow, but the nurse stopped her gently. "Ma'am, we'll take care of him. You need to get warm. You're in shock." She didn't argue. She just turned to Caleb with tears in her eyes. "I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't stopped a broken bar." He didn't know what to say. He just nodded. They waited in silence, side by side, dripping rainwater onto the hospital chairs. Ava, now wrapped in Caleb's hoodie, dozed off beside them. Finally, the nurse returned. "He's stable. The fever broke, and he's resting. You got him here just in time." Lena closed her eyes and whispered a prayer. The nurse smiled. "Would you like to see him?" Lena turned to Caleb. "Would you, a broken bar, come with me?" He hesitated. "Are you sure?" She nodded. "You helped save him. I want you to meet my son." So he followed her into the quiet room, and there, in the middle of a sterile crib, lay a baby boy with the faintest smile on his lips, his tiny fists curled, chest rising and falling peacefully. Caleb felt something in him crack open. He didn't know this child, but he knew that face. He had once looked at Ava the same way, when she was just born, so fragile, so full of hope. And in that moment, it was as if every storm in his life, every trial, Every lonely night had led to this room, to this child, and to this soldier. But this was only the beginning, because what Caleb didn't know yet a broken bar was who Lena really was, and why she had been driving alone in the middle of a storm. What she had lost a broken bar and what she was about to lose again.